Good morning. So what do we have today? It's 23rd, no, what on the, yeah, 17th of March 2022. Today we have a PS5. This is the digital version. So the problem here is we got no power. Alright, eject and power button, no response. It's plugged in. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to check if it is maybe a power supply problem. So it's an easy way of just checking that without taking out the power supply itself. So let's quickly put our test meter in DC voltage mode. Just find my leads here. Positive, negative. So let's put the ground anywhere on a ground source. Let's just put it on the edge here. Let's check our voltage on our power supply. 0.076 is dropping. So we got no DC voltage at all. Let's just put it in beep mode or continuity mode. So that's negative. That's obviously positive on that side. Getting a false reading there. Okay, that's positive. That's negative. Okay, this side will give us a negative reading. Alright, so we have got a power supply problem. There's no 12 volt coming in. So even though we got 220 coming in, the power supply will convert that to 12 volt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly take out the power supply. Let's have a look inside the power supply. The problem here in South Africa is you cannot get power supplies at all for PS4s. Well, it's not just here, it's right around the world at the moment. There's a major problem getting any parts to repair PS5s for us guys that are trying to help customers out buying a 12,000 Rand console, and then once it's out of warranty, we try and help the guys out to get it repaired. So let's just strip this one down. I'm not going to take everything out. I'm going to try and leave this all in place. Let's just quickly get these flexes out. Just be very careful when you do take flexes out on these boards. You don't want to pull a flex or break a flex, because you're not going to be able to find another one again. So if you don't have experience in stripping gaming consoles, please don't strip this one. This one is not an easy console to strip. The Series X also, we're getting a lot of them in lately, and the new Series X obviously, and we're getting a lot of them that's been opened by other repair companies or customers, and the problem is that they're breaking the plugs off the board where these flexes go in, and it can't be repaired unless you've got another board somewhere. So unfortunately, just because there's no parts available yet, it makes it very difficult for everybody to do any repairs on the newer models, the newer console models. Let's just take off all the flexes, just make sure they're stuck with tape. Let's get that out the way. That's just for the LED light. We don't need that flex there. Antennas off. Alright, so let's flip it around. So move the mouse very quickly. Let's flip it around quickly, because we're going to try and leave the board in place so we don't have to strip out the board and everything. Let's flip it around to the back side. Should just be these two screws holding everything in place. We'll check now. As I say, it's so frustrating that we can't help customers out right now with PS5s. The only thing you can do is, if it's under warranty, just claim a warranty repair on it. That would be my suggestion right now. Just don't let anybody open it if it's still under warranty, because if you do, you will lose your warranty. Just make sure something's not still plugged in here. Alright, there you go. It's out. quite interesting to see what the heatsink looks like after just a year. Let me bring you guys down a little bit closer to the PS5. So as you can see, it's already starting to gather quite a bit of dust. There you can see that too. So what will happen is this becomes like a spider web almost of dust, and then it clogs up completely, it blocks up everything. So if you get a overheating issue with your PS5, it's probably because all the heat sinks are blocked up. It's actually got quite a few here, as you can see. It's a big processor on these new boards. Let me just get you guys back out again here. It's quite a big processor on these main boards, so on the newer consoles, and the Xboxes and the PS5s. So they're going to have quite a lot of heat sinks in them. I'm just checking if there's anything else holding the power supply in. It should just clip out. Let's quickly have a look. Yeah, that just pops out. Alright, so when I was doing a test, I was testing on these two pins just on the other side of the board that comes through. There's your BIOS battery. So yeah, we'll just give this a bit of a blowout. But I don't think we're going to get this right unless we can repair the power supply itself. And that too is going to be a problem because the power supplies don't have any, there is no parts for even the power supplies itself. But let's have a look here quickly. I'm not going to put the whole console together again once this is done, because the customer might want to wait until we find power supplies for him. But then again, what do you do? Sit with a console at your house that can't be used, and you paid over 12,000 Rand for it here in South Africa. It's a pity. You can do probably a exchange with Sony. They'll just swap it out for a refurbished one. Here in South Africa they don't have they don't do repairs on consoles. Let's see if this thing can even be opened. They don't do repairs on them. They swap it out for a refurbished one. Is there any more screws here? Let's have a look. Let's just bring that light a little bit closer. Just want to see if there's any other screws in here. Doesn't look like it. You know, before we do that, let's just check the voltage quickly. Let's see if we're getting any voltage here. Let's just put on the DC voltage mode. Our tester, that's AC, that's DC. Let's quickly see, I don't know what's positive and negative on this one. Well, all it'll do is just show us a minus. Alright, no, we're still getting no voltage. Dead. So it's definitely a power supply problem, this one. And luckily it's not anything on the main board. The PS4's already, the PS5's already giving a lot of problems on the main board themselves. We're getting reports of blue light of death. A lot of the guys overseas that do repairs also are getting blue light of death problems. Just want to see if we can pop this open. We should be able to. I don't see why not. What's holding it in? Did you bring our tool back? Let's have a look quickly. Let's try and get our prying tool to open this one up. I mean, it should just clip open. Looks like there's a bit of a, yeah, it looks like there's clips inside here. Got to find a way to see. I mean, if there's a chance that we can fix it, we got to fix it. I'm going to warn you right now, if you ever think of opening one of these power supplies on a PS4 or even on a PS5 or any power supply on any gaming console, be very careful. They carry 400 to 500 volts inside the power supply's caps, and it will not shock you, it actually burns you because it's DC voltage. So please don't try this. Don't try this yourself unless you got experience in this. I believe me, I've been burnt and shocked and whatever you want to call it, but it's mainly burnt because they burn you, they don't shock you. Okay. And it's, like I say, it's such high voltage, so even though DC basically on these power supplies and any console power supplies can't kill you, it can burn you. Alright, so please don't mess around with these things. If you've got the experience, go ahead. You've got to discharge the caps before you work on these power supplies. Remember, it's still got an AC side and a DC side in them, and it can cause quite a lot of pain. All of us here in the company has already felt how these things can shock, because we often forget to discharge them, and then we touch the caps or touch the board, and then it shocks you. So you see how this thing's going to open. Alright, so they're quite a story to open, these guys. Not as easy as other PlayStation's power supplies. I just want to see what this antenna is doing, because I don't have this antenna. This antenna might be holding it in. This is obviously your wireless antenna. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. There must be a way to open these things. If they can make them, they can be repaired. Well, as long as you can get the parts. There we go. Okay. Now this is where I've got to be careful that I don't touch the board, because then I'm going to get a bit of a slight shock on camera for you guys. You'll see now the caps are holding charge. Okay, there we go. Oh. So that's you can see I'm taking it very carefully, because I can almost guarantee you these capacitors are still under charge. These two big boys here, 450 volts, and there's two of them. Let's see if I can get you guys a bit closer again. Alright, so obviously these also keep hold charge, but these guys here are the main ones that you don't want to mess around with. Let's have a look quickly. We use a discharging tool to discharge them. Keep an eye on that meter there. Let me see if I can get it a little bit closer to that side. I'm going to move the light out the way a little bit so it's a little bit darker. So let's see. If it's got a short on it, it might have drained the caps already. But if it doesn't, it's going to show you there how much volts is inside these caps. So this is a special tool to discharge with. So keep an eye on the numbers. I just don't know if it's upside down or right way around now, but just keep an eye on that, and you'll see what happens when you're discharging cap. There you go. 300 volt, 200 volt, 240, 190, 170, 170, 130. Okay, it's dropping because it's discharging the caps for me. Okay, there we go. So now it should be safe to work on. It's not guaranteed, but there you go. See, it had a little bit of power still in it. It's very low, but there you saw what it does. Okay, caps to discharge. It's much safer to work on. It's not that it's guaranteed that everything's discharged, but at least now we can see. Alright, so first of all, let's have a look at the fuse quickly. Got a fuse here. Bring you guys a little bit closer. So we can just put it in continuity mode, also known as beep mode to a lot of people. Just move those screws and keep them with a power supply. Well, you know, the first signs of a blown power supply is usually in your plastic covers. Just going to see if we can see any burn marks. Okay, we don't see any burn marks there. Nothing funny going on here. No. Let's hope this is just a fuse. If it's just a fuse, this customer is going to be very, very, very happy. But it's telling me that this problem is on the DC side and not the AC side, because the caps are charging up. Okay, fuse is fine, so no problem with the fuse. Just do a bit of a visual inspection here. Okay, we got a diode there in the back. We'll have to check that diode. We'll have to check it from the bottom of the board. Oh, there we go. Found the problem already. And I'm hoping that's going to be the only problem. It looks like it. Let me change you guys quickly to the scope, to the microscope mode. I'll show you quickly what's blown on this one. Luckily it's nice and visible. So let me see, can you guys see there? Yeah, you guys can see. Alright, so that's our biggest problem there. Now that little, I don't know the exact name for it. I don't know the technical terms for a lot of these items. I just do the repairs. This item, yeah, it's like a diode basically. So what it does is it sends signal from the AC side to the DC side via this diode, but it's like a light diode. So it's almost got like a light in it. It doesn't work with, there's no connection, there's no proper connection. So the PS4 Pro power supplies and others also have these ones in. I think they're different size. I'm wondering if we could maybe use this. So you can see how the whole top is blown off. Well, there you go, it's actually loose. There we go, it's all loose. So the whole top of it's blown off. Let's just do a quick full inspection of the bottom of the board just to make sure we got no other issues here. These are power control chips. Got a couple of guys there, caps, don't see anything there. That one does look a little bit discolored, but not bad. So yeah, everything, there's another control chip, DAP, so they are different to the PS4 ones. So they have changed the design quite a bit. The funny thing is, on these power supplies, they don't have a switch on them like the PS4s where you switch your voltage. Okay, this bridge rectifier was going to check that also. But I don't see anything else here. So yeah, with the PS4s, just going to check. With the PS4s, what will happen is you've got a 5-volt switch. It's a standby mode. So when you press the button, the power button, it will come on. And these guys don't have that. So this is basically 220 and 12 volt out. That's it. Done. No 5 volts standby or nothing. I don't know. It probably does it via the main board or something. So there you go. There's those caps I was telling you about. 450 volt. And there's 2 of them. So you touch this board in the wrong place, you're going to have a bit of a problem. You will know. Promise you, you're going to know. Okay, so let's check the bridge rectifier. That's this one here. Just quickly make sure there's no shorts here between any of the lines. Just make sure we're still on continuity mode. Yep. Okay. Okay, no short between AC or DC there. I'm hoping the only way we're going to know is if we replace one of these, maybe. I'm trying to think if we can bridge it. No, we can't bridge it because it can't have a link, a proper constant link between the two. But I'm wondering if these might be the same as the PS4s. Here's the bottom of the transformer. What else can we, oh yeah, one thing I wanted to check was this diode here. This boy here. But now I've got to try and see where it goes through the board. A resistor, it's a resistor, sorry. Gotta try and figure out where's the 2 points on this one. Let me just try and see it quickly. R9. R9 or R8? 9. So that side goes there. Let's just see. So we got our transformer. So that's the 1 point. Okay, so that's the 1 point there. Let's try and see. This is in this line. So that goes to that line. That should be these two. Yeah. Let's have a look quickly. What does it say there? R89, R83 positive. Okay, let's just check between these two. I think this might be it. Yeah, that should be it there. Okay, so that resistor looks like it is fine. Okay, that looks good. So I think that's going to be the only problem. Yeah, these chips here can also give power problems. Xenodiode there. I think it might just be this boy here. Oh, whoa. That's not good. That's a bigger problem because this chip's got a hole in it too. DAP053T. Okay, it's not the same as the PS4s. Damn. So this power supply can't be repaired. We don't have that control chip. That's such a pity. And you can't get them. So DAP053T, as you can see, it's got a hole right through it. Let's check if we're getting any shorts on pins. We probably will. Okay, yep. The one next to it, but it might actually short. Might be normal. Second one, I don't think that should short, but anyway. Yeah. Bottom one's shorting. Third one, I think this is definitely gone. And I doubt that the PS4s can just be swapped for these. No, getting too many shorts on pins. Alright, so that's how the problem. The hole blown right through that control chip. Even though the PS4s have a DAP chip like this too, it's a complete different model. As far as I remember, it's 1 pin blank pin. Damn, that's such a pity, eh? Alright, so fortunately this one can't be repaired unless we get another power supply, or we get specifically that part there, that DAP. So it's all on the DC side. Just want to make sure. Yeah, it looks like that's also controls up to the DC side. So somewhere it got too much voltage coming through on the AC. Popped that chip to protect it, but it blew going over to the DC side too. Sorry guys, so this video was a bit boring, but I'm sure you've learned something now at least. But that's gone. Let's check a number there again. DAP. DAPOs. DAP053T. There we go, you can see it properly there on the camera. DAP053T. Yeah, that's the problem. I'll have to try and see if we can get these somewhere. I'll try and source, see if we can get from overseas. This little guy here, on this side, I'll have to just try and see. EL. This is like a lighting diode. It works with light only. It doesn't have a physical connection between this point and the bottom one. EL10130460V. So I'll try and see if we can source these two, because if we can just source parts of these power supplies, at least we can sort them out, fix it for the customer so long. They don't have to buy a whole new power supply. And obviously we'll check the pricing of it. So yeah, sorry guys. As I say, not a very productive video this, but at least you guys know the risks of buying PS5s right now. None of us can get parts for them, especially power supplies. The only thing we can get for the PS5s are the HDMI ports. One thing that has come up as a discussion is also standing up your PS5. Is it good? Especially with the liquid metal on the processor, and a lot of guys are saying when it heats up, the liquid metal runs to one side, so the processor doesn't heat up properly, cool down properly, doesn't make a proper connection. I don't know how true that is. It's something we'd have to see over the long term. So a lot of people are saying rather lie them flat, so that liquid metal doesn't go to one side of the main processor, and your main processor eventually gets a hot spot on it, and then you'll get the blue light of death. Believe me, the guys are already getting blue light of death in the console. Now I wonder, is that a reason because it stands upright, or is it just a problem like the PS4s had in the beginning, blue light of death? Well, all the PS4s still have the problem, the blue light of death problem. Going to be interesting to see. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you liked what I did. If you did, or what I've done here, just to show you guys the power supply and that, please like the video and share it. Leave your comments below, especially if you know where to get those chips. I'd appreciate that, because then we can get some, we can import them here into South Africa and start repairing some of these power supplies for customers. Please subscribe, like the video, have an awesome day. It's cold here in South Africa today, all rainy and wet, or it's probably going to carry on raining today, but the temperature's definitely dropping. Winter's at least another month or two away from now. Thank you guys, have a good one, bye bye.